Hello everyone and welcome back to TRAX Tuesdays. Some technical issues there disconnected the server, so we have restarted practice and qualifying. So we are now again going to finish off this 1 minute to allow everyone to rejoin the server. We've got 31 out of the 33 who were here originally. And we're going to get another bite at the cherry for qualifying here at Silverstone. Just in case we missed it earlier on, there's been a server disconnection, but we are now back live. So welcome, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching us from in the world. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Gogs Brown in the commentary position for this evening, and indeed the rest of the series of TRAX Tuesdays. We're here, this is round 2 at the home of British Motorsport at Silverstone. We have got some high octane sprint racing action in the GT3 class for you on Assetto Corsa Competizione. The difference between this time around and the previous, the pre-disconnection server is the weather seems to have worsened. It's gone oddly British, and we are showing as overcast and a little bit of pit lane, interesting pit lane manoeuvre there from Tom Hockley for TRAX Racing as the number 29 Lamborghini gets underway. We're ready now for this 5-minute qualifying session. We have exactly 1 lap for all these competitors to set a flying lap. It's 1 lap magic, it's back. So 3 qualifying sessions, and in these 3 sessions each driver will be setting the grid position for the race following it. Very oddly warm day here at Silverstone, 26 degrees, we can see that on the top right of the screen. And of course we've got cars dancing all over the track, vying for track position as they all want to get the cleanest possible lap in. 34 drivers now in the server, and it was Chris Dawes who we were watching originally on that hot lap. We'll never find out what kind of lap they did, as the server done a G-Portal special and decided it was no longer going to be a server. Instead it was going to be a big pile of circuits and wires. It didn't actually work. Congratulations, G-Portal, just G-Portal doing G-Portal things. A lot of battles there on track. It is only qualifying, they'll need to be cautious they don't make any collisions at all. Chris Clements, Jorgen Rust Racing, Dan Clegg who won last time out. Just in case we missed it at the start, or if you're just joining now, on the left hand side, all the drivers' number plates there. So Paul, Alex, the white background there, number 11 car, that the white background denotes a pro class driver, whereas the silver background denotes a silver driver, and the red background denotes a AM class driver. They're all battling for position, but they are in separate championships. For example, if this was a finishing order, A Demi would score 2nd place in their series. So I'll be honest with you, it's been very tricky to try and work out just exactly who is first on track. The 111 car has come round to start a lap, I believe. So this is, I think, the first car out on track. It is indeed. So Hall is going to take us on a lap off Silverstone as he comes through the Maggott and Beckett sequence. Very difficult, tricky to keep the car at the correct speed. We've got an incident just in front. Hopefully that doesn't cost him any time, not distracted at all as he joins the hangar straight. He's now going to go up through the gears under the bridge for the entry into what is probably the best overtaking spot this evening come the race. Want to take a late apex to maximise that exit speed. Now a tricky braking zone, blind braking zone as well. Little bump on the way in can make it very easy to understeer wide. as the car in front runs off track. Hopefully they get out of the way. They do indeed get out of Hall's way as he joins the Hamilton straight now. Fast right-hander coming up, bring it over to the left and try and take as much of that inside curve as your car will dare. Keep the speed up through this section and slam on the brakes. A bit of trail braking into the apex. Watch those big sausage curbs. Get the car rotated nice and early for the run. Now onto the back straight. This is the flat out section. Don't need to worry too much about that, and now it's put down. Get ready for the tricky turn-in section into Brooklands. Comes in very early, does it? The Ferrari, it does have the ability to do that. Clegg has set a time 1:58.792, and if you look on the left-hand side, you'll now see the driver tracker update itself with lap times as they all cross the line. Where does Hall for the piston breakers end up? He goes into P4, that's a decent lap time there. Car number 23 is going to be next across the line. We can't find car number 23, so I do apologise for that one. They've done a pretty decent lap. Car 8, Clark, is going to be the next car on a valid lap to set a time. Let's see, where does Clark end up? S. English has put a lap time in the Bentley, 12 seconds off the pace, but that might still find himself ahead of others as there is only one lap magic. Clark sets a lap time as well and goes just in front. Car number 51, Rampensberger's about to come across the line. Can't see where they've went. They're up to P5, that's a good lap. And there's some contact going on here, guys. 101 McLaren had an incident on the way round there, and that's potentially the end of qualifying because they seem to have went off track. Alex has not set a lap time there in the pit, so that's an interesting development there for race 1. Carl Sween still lapping in the number 17 Grello Porsche round the final corner. He had an incredible time last time out. He crosses the line and Carl Sween goes P2, 4/10 off the lead. I think that may be the end of qualifying. Looking down at the driver tracker, trying to find out who is yet to set a lap and start on a valid lap. Tom Hacker is not. Car number 96 is on a lap. I think they've done one already, so if they do, that will not count. Car number 14, Rollins, is still out there. That's the yellow Ferrari. They've done a lap. Car number 27. Who's not shown is on the track. I think everyone's done. Jarnigan's going to cross the line in the Lexus. Goes into P25. So not set a time. Paul Alex in the pit. That's the end of qualifying. Very tricky to keep track of that one lap magic. So let's have a look at the qualifying and race start order for race 1. Dan Clegg sets the fastest time of the session, 1:58.792. Carl Sween just tucked in behind on a 1:59.1. And Simon in the Porsche as well. Porsche running very well around here, 1:59.3. In fourth, we see Lovejoy up in P4. Flores keeps him company in fifth. Hall for the piston breakers in P6. Rampensberger P7. Hermes in 8th. Barros is in 9th. Chris Clements rounds out the top 10. Rowlands takes the pole position in silver. That's 11th overall. Tom Hacker 12th. Kraft in P13. Hutchings 14th. Metzger is 15th. Cedric 16th. Watson 17th. Ben Godden in P18. Herman P19 and Gregory Bellamancia in P20. Van Litter 21st. Bird 22nd. Dawes, Frankiosi, Jarnigan, Clark, Archer, English round out all the drivers who set lap times. Those who did not set a time: Tom Hockley in the TRAX racing car A Demi who I think maybe actually the championship leader in AM class. We'll double check that one. Paul Alex as well did not set a valid lap. That is disappointing for them. E. Evans, Jürgen Lofstrand, Michael Adenal make up the rest of the grid, who will be starting from the rear. So again, we had some technical issues earlier on, and the server disbanded itself, and we are now back. So if you did miss the start there, let's just very quickly go through the championships and give everyone their dues, because it was Andrea Demi who is the AM class leader just now, Chris Dawes second, Johnny Clark third, Archer, Guattieri, Cook, Cedric, Petiz are the finishers in AM class. Joey Johnston did not finish. Sammy English is in the server this evening, as is Stefano Franciosi, as they make their debut here at TRAX Tuesdays for Race Club UK. Once again in the Pro-Am category, we'll just run through this very quickly. Chris Rowlands is first just now, Matthias Metzger, Anthony Hunt, Lee Watson, Tom Hockley, James Jarnigan, Michael Adenel, Gregory Belamancia, Jürgen Lofstrand, Van Litter, and George Magiotis, who is actually in the server this evening, who wasn't here last time. I don't think we do actually have anyone. Oh no, we've got Duncan Hutchins is in the server. That's good to see. They weren't here last week. So that's a good addition to the grid we didn't have last time. And in the Pro Tier, Dan Clegg leads that championship, followed by Jack Kraft and Paul Alex. Richard Hall's fourth, Ethan Lovejoy fifth, Noor Farher is in sixth, Carl Sween recovered to seventh after being last at the end of lap 1. Dres Flores in the Mustang, the American muscle car, 8th. Tom Hacker 9th. Ben Gordon rounds up the top 10 in the Pro Tier. So that is how the championship sits. We've got 3 sprint races this evening. Very hot conditions here at Silverstone. 28 degrees currently air temperature, 37 track temperature. Probably the hottest day in Britain if this was indeed real life. We are here, we've got a car opting to start from the pit lane. That is Bird for Peregrine Racing. The 103 car is taking the option to pit lane start for race 1. As Clegg now gets us underway, and we are moving on the formation lap. So let's just come on board with a couple of drivers and show you some of the key action points as we get underway. So this is the start-finish straight. It is the old start-finish straight at Cops Corner. This here made infamous, as he's already spun. That's a good job. That was one way to warm the tyres up. In his very best Max Verstappen impression, as Lewis Hamilton allegedly nudged into his rear wheel and sent him to the hospital. Why did that happen? Of course, we can debate all day long what actually happened on that fateful day. Some say Hamilton understeered. I would say the cause of the incident was being several championship points behind Max Verstappen on the way into the race, probably caused that incident. But we'll never know. We'll let the critics debate and battle that one. Anyway, we're now on board with the driver going through the Maggotts-Beckett sequence. One line through here, no overtaking, very tricky to run side by side, and I think this will be the big incident area in the first couple of laps. So Barros, as we see Barros here in the Pink Panther, the good, the bad and the ugly. This is probably the best overtaking spot on the track, owing to the fact it's a late apex corner. You want to get to the inside of the corner very late around it. That opens up the inside for a quick overtake. Oh, show us the tricky braking zone. Down into this twisty section, 90-degree left-hander. The track kind of cuts in on you on the way in. And it's a tricky acceleration zone. The back end just wants to step out and watch that sausage on the inside. little bit up ahead here. This is the Hamilton Straight. This is where the cars will now start going forward. However, on Assetto Corsa Competizione, we start just after Luffield and before Copse Corner. Tricky turn here. I want to get right over that inside curb, as Simon demonstrates at walking pace for us just there. We'll see if Frankie Osei can show us the exact same thing. You bring the car way over to the left on the way in, and again there's one line through here, but I've seen cars go too wide into that corner, and one of them almost always ends up on the runoff area on the left hand side. Next corner is a very tricky right-hander, requires a little bit of trail braking. Some cars will be better into this turn than others, and it is another overtaking zone. As we see Bellamancia go for a four-wheel drift through the village. It's now time for Clegg to get the cars backed up. We do have another car in the pits. That is Chris Cook. Joined the server very late, but he is at least in and will be starting from the pit lane. As we get ready now for round 2, this is where it's all, everyone's got all the cobwebs out. They've shaken off the rust, the track rust, and they're now in racing condition. The green and black BMW sees Dan Clegg. On the left hand side we have Carl Sween. On row 2 we have Simon and Lovejoy with Flores and Hall behind on row 3, as we await the green flag for TED TRAX Tuesdays round 2 here at Silverstone with Race Club UK. And we wait. We are still waiting. And we are green, we are underway. And it's a good start from all the front runners. They all get through relatively cleanly. That did not look the safest. Through Copse, just contact. 2 cars running wide there on the way through. 3 wide of some of these corners, but everyone just got through generally okay. Up front, it's still the same. Sween shows his nose on the inside. Simon's got himself clear of Lovejoy and thinking about a move down the inside of Sween, who is having absolutely none of that, but he's ran wide. He's over the runoff area, and that's going to put him under pressure. And Lovejoy in the Aston Martin's looking very racy as well. He pulls it to the inside. Simon moves late, the 3 wide down into the very heavy overtaking section, but nothing doing this time around. As they go a little bit further down the pack, with 4 or 5 wide, some of them maybe on the way into this corner. You need to be very cautious. It's wide here, but when you go 3 wide, it's still possible to have another incident. This is another tricky section. Everyone seems to have got through relatively okay. There's no major incident, it looks like, on lap 1. Fantastic driving from the entire field. Well done everyone so far, but as we enter into the final sector of lap 1, it's Dan Clegg out in first place, Carl Sween second, Simon third, Lovejoy fourth, Hermsen fifth, Rampensberger 6th, then Clements, Barros, Flores and Hall to round out the top 10. Kraft in the TED TRAX racing car coming off the back of an incredible performance last time out. Everyone seems to have already got themselves into a good rhythm. But up front, as we come to complete the final lap out of Luffield, Dan Clegg's going to cross the line, and the driver tracker is going to update now where everyone has ended up on the end of the first lap. Very clean first lap, and a big shout out to all of the drivers this evening for getting through there cleanly. Sween looks absolutely rapid in that Porsche. The straight line speed cuts the grass using all of the track and more. Those sausage curbs just being ran over, but look at the extra speed Simon's got out of the corner. He's going to be looking for a potential move. Sween's got the inside, Simon on the outside. Can Sween defend it into the end of the hangar straight? He does on this occasion, but he's going to be compromised. Simon goes over to the inside to think about a move down there, but he's not as late on the brakes as Sween, and this is going to allow Clegg just to pull out a small gap. We've got a bit of action going on here as Barros is putting Clements and Flores under pressure. Any mistake is going to see an overtaking move happen, because Hall now pulls out to the inside. Doesn't have anything there. The McLaren smashes into those curbs. The BMW feels the need to go defensive, and there's a move down the inside potentially from the Ferrari, but nothing doing this time around. They all get through relatively well. Rowlands as well seems to be defending from Kraft in that TRAX racing car. Did a relatively good job just now. He feels the need to go a little bit defensive on this back straight here as Kraft loses the rear. We've lost him. What's happened? He's rejoining now. The camera angle has not played with us today. It's not done its job. As we come towards the end of lap 1 and the top 4, look at them. The top 4 are only separated by less than a second each. It's going to be a close one, that's for sure. There's slight contact on the way at the Copse. Reminiscent of Hamilton and Verstappen. But look at these two drivers, a much higher skill level, managed to keep it out of the wall. Good driving from Hall and Barros there. Kraft, after his little spin there, rejoined in front of, I think it's Dawes, and they've got BMW there as well, that's Van Linter. They're very tight, and just behind they've got a Lexus under pressure there as well. The Lexus on the inside defending on the way into the end of the hangar straight. The McLaren tries to sweep around the outside and does. Evans, remember, is a pro driver. There's a bit of an issue there with the driver tracker. He should have a white background, but does not detract from that move round the outside. Fair play, that's a very, very difficult move to do. So we're 5 minutes now and we've got a car off. Yellow Ferrari, that is Rowland rejoining very close to having a potential incident. But man, he's now going to rejoin in front of Kraft in the TRAX racing car. Big action here tonight at Silverstone. And look at just up ahead as well, that Honda is under pressure from the Porsche of Herman, the Flying Eagles Porsche. And there's a little bit of a bump. Does he spin round? He's lost the rear. That one might end up in the stewards room, bumper to bumper, as they come round Luffield. He rejoins safely, fortunately for Cedric, but that's going to put him down a couple of positions. Very unlucky there, so close, very close racing action, but I think sometimes the drivers need to remember that these cars are not touring cars, they're GT3 cars. Look at this close battering going on here. This is Paul Alex coming from the back of the grid, already up to P21. He's got Hockley behind him, he's already disposed of Hockley, he's now got Dawes in front of him. Battle there just on the way into the corner. That looks like the Porsche being overtaken potentially. Watson round the outside of the Porsche and goes slightly defensive. A late move for Rowland behind. Rowlands chucks it down the inside to the Porsche, and the Porsche keeps position, and then Kraft sneaks up the inside and through goes Kraft. Sorry, I could not help myself, had to be done. Look how close these two are now. There's been a mistake from Clegg because as we come on board with Sween, this is the battle for the lead. And let's not forget, he has got Simon only a couple of tenths of a second in behind. The BMW looks like an absolute animal once it gets up to its top speed. It really is a fast car, but the Porsche has a big, fat rear wing which pushes its backside down into the ground. and gets great traction out of the corners. Nothing doing, and on this lap the gap 0.4 of a second between the leaders. We're 11 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go in this, the first of our 3 sprint races this evening. And the Clegg takes a different line from Sween there into the Magnus Beckett Sween playing World Rally Championship with the grass again, and that's going to cost him now because Simon, his teammate, is right on his backside, pulls over to the inside. Does he make the move? Sween affords him the room, and Simon is going to go through and take P2. That's a successful move by the Frenchman down the inside of Sween, and that's Sween now down in P3. I'm sure that will not be the last we see of him this evening. So Hall for the piston breaker, still locked in this battle with Barros in front of him, and Hacker just tucked in behind there. Only a couple of tenths of a second separate these drivers. Big action a little bit further back as Adenal leads a train of cars behind him. We've got Bellamancia, Jarnigan, Franciosi, Dawes, English and Bird. And a big action going on there at the back of the field as well. This is for the bottom, in the bottom 30. And these guys battling as if it's for the lead. Incredible action here at Race Club UK, and very fair as well. As that is... Who is that in front now? Is that Lofstrand? Lofstrand's moving up, making moves. Archie tries to go round the outside, and there's slight contact there with Hutchings. He takes the inside. It's good driving here actually. Fair play. He's lost the rear. Commentator's curse. Unfortunate as he smashes over the sausage curb. We're now watching Rampensberger behind in the sandwich there between Hermsen and Flores. Flores in that big old Ford Mustang as well, American muscle. Look up at just the front. No, we've got a potential action going on here as Sween is now defending from Lovejoy as they go side by side through the corner at the end of the hangar straight. Sween keeps position. He's going to take it to the left to try and hold that defensive position, kind of parks his car in the middle of the road and retains position. We've seen this last time out as well. Lovejoy is particularly racy, and these two came to a clash actually at lap 1 last time out as well. That Porsche looks like an absolute handful, but it's so quick in the hands of the American. The back end stepping out almost every opportunity, but he's got the car rotated nicely for a run down the back straight. So here's a set situation brewing here. Watson is defending from Herman. Sorry, Roland, that's Roland's Watson's defending from. All for position, of course. This is for the lead in silver class. Kraft has got past Herman now, and there's a car off. Car number 10 has been off track. That's Van Linter. He's rejoined now, back behind car number 79. He's down 28. There's the potential move there. That is Kraft. Tries to send it down the inside of Dawes, and he gets it up the inside in Luffield. He's going to have a worse exit though. Oh, big oversteer moment for Rollins, and that's going to allow Herman through now as well on the run into Cops Corner. But Rollins moving backwards through the field into the jaws of Paul Alex, who gets a big chunk of oversteer all the way through Cops Corner there. And he's run wide. Rollins has been off track. He's missed his apex. And he needs to be careful when he's rejoined. He's going to end up behind Paul Alex. He concedes that position, and that's a freebie for the man coming through the field from the back of the grid. Got a car off at Luffield. I think that's car number 27. That's Archer at the back of the field being off track. Action really flying up here. Herman, Alex and Kraft battling very hard. The Porsche clinging onto the track. But Alex coming through the field, of course, finished third last time out. Will not want to have many finishes this far down the field. Now moving through the drivers like a hot knife through butter. He takes it over to the right, tries to open up the corner to give himself a good exit down this back straight, and just up ahead as well we can see the Lamborghini of Kraft really trying to muscle his way past. Doesn't do it on this occasion, the BMW too fast in a straight line. What's happened back here? We've got Sammy English defending from Hutchings. The Bentley driver's going to had a good top speed, but when you've got a slipstream like that, well, actually, look how just how quick it is, and it's so close. The Bentley leaves just a McLaren-sized gap for Sammy English, for Hutchins, sorry, to get through, and he does. Precision driving as the McLaren steps out sideways on the exit of the final corner. That's going to open things back up again for Sammy English as they join the start-finish straight. Now they're side by side as they go into the Copse corner. We've seen this happen before, and he doesn't understeer into the car on the outside. This is the absolute scenes. This goes to show that these drivers really are some of the best drivers in the world. Up front again now, Simon's closed the gap right up to the back of Clegg. Look at that under braking. Clegg is beginning to struggle. As Simon showed his nose up the inside onto the sausage curb, that's going to compromise him now, and there's going to be a three-way battle on the way into this next corner at Brooklands. Carl Sween's going to have the best view of the house, or best view in the house of this battle. And nothing comes off it on this occasion. Simon's still there, he's right on the bumper off Clegg as we enter the final couple of minutes of this exciting race one. Are we going to get 2 or are we going to get 3 more laps? Only time will tell us. We're right on the cusp, but there'll be no slowing down for Clegg. That is for certain. Just behind here, Clements on the back of Flores. That BMW is absolutely flying around here today. As the field began to sort of separate itself into these little packs. Watson still tucked behind Paul Alex. Kraft trying to navigate through the field. We've got a BMW just in front of him off Metzger. He comes now on to the hangar straight. Does the Lamborghini have enough of a toe on the BMW, or does the big grunt from the German engine keep him in front? It does. It's so hard to pass a BMW. But the Lamborghini does attempt it, throws it down the inside. It looks like a very, very good but aggressive move. They're very much in control. It's a good move. One position up for the TRAX racing car. But we shift our attention in the final 2.5 minutes to the front 3. This is the battle for the podium. Car number 99 is off track. But we're going to stick with us. Hutchins at the back of the grid. We've got Simon in a sandwich between Dan Clegg and Carl Sween. A sea of different shades of green here on track, battling for the top step on the podium. all different in lines, the racing lines round the track. We are going to have, I think, potentially 2 more laps as well here. As these 3 are not giving up. This could go any way, and it has the potential to all end in tears as they come through the Beckett's sequence of corners this fast. Left, right, left section. This is really where Simon closes the gap. He's right on the back side now. And he's going to get a slipstream, but again the top end speed off that BMW is just going to, the grunt it has to defend itself in a straight line. Simon's so good on the brakes, and we can see the back tyres squirming on the BMW. Does Simon think about it then the inside here? He doesn't. Clegg goes defensive and there's a slight tap. Clegg keeps position. Simon still battling hard, and now Lovejoy's joined this battle. And just behind as well, he's lost it. Simon's hit the sausage curb and he's lost position. Sween gives him room to rejoin. Does Lovejoy now sneak it up the inside? Space is given by both drivers. There's great hard battling, and they're so close to touching, but Lovejoy throws it down the inside. Simon's going to try and duck back under, and from the old switcheroo, he's very keen to show his nose, isn't he? Now it's Sween who's going to be the one who pressures the leader. Can anyone make their way past Dan Clegg this evening with 27 seconds left off the timer, 25 now? Are we going to get around? I don't think Clegg has the opportunity to back off and just let the timer expire. We all might be doing one more lap here at Silverstone. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we've got one more lap to go. The timer at 1 second as they cross the line. A little bit further back, we've got a close train developing here behind the Lexus. Hermsen, Flores, Rampensberger, Clements, Hall, Hacker, all separated by less than 1/10 of a second each. Herman, Rowlands and Watson still locked in that battle as well. Adenal doing a good job pressuring the back of Metzger. Close battle in the back. Jarnigan's been off track in the Lexus. Just caught the end of that, but Jarnigan's been off track. Franciosi decent from the back of the grid as well. Demi currently running 4th in AM class, making a move on the BMW down the inside of Brooklands. Very close battling all throughout the field as we rejoin these guys at the front. Clegg has pulled out a little bit of a safety margin. It's now Lovejoy who is applying the pressure up front. Flores also applying the pressure to the Lexus and being pressured equally as he almost loses the rear end. The big V8 in the front of that car really making it difficult for Flores to control. Rampensberger tucked in behind of Clements, just ready to pounce as well. Hacker's shown as only 31 milliseconds behind Hall. And Hacker thinks about it down the outside. I don't think that was actually a move, I think he just braked a little bit late. But these 3 now within just a couple of tenths off a second off each other. Lovejoy's almost pushing Sween round the corner into the final turn now. Clegg's going to take the checkered flag. It looks like car number 36 showing is off track, and it is Clegg who's going to cross the line and take the checkered flag here for race 1. Sween comes home second, Lovejoy third, Simon in P4. Can Hermsen hold on from the Mustang off Flores? It looks like he can. He's almost ran wide. There's only a couple of tenths in it, but Hermsen, Flores, Rampensberger, Clements and Hall, Hacker, Barros and Godin. That is the top 12, and that's how close they all came to finishing within each other. Paul Alex gets ahead of Evans in the dying embers off the race. Watson under pressure from there, and that's Rowlands comes through. Rowlands comes through to take a position. Watson potentially sideways coming out of the final corner. Herman takes P17, Hockley 18th, Metzger 19th. Villamancia holds off Dawes for 20th. Dawes wins the AM class, 21st overall. Mark Cedric comes home 22nd. Frankie Osei hot on his heels in 23rd. Jurgen Lofstrand 24th. Jarnigan finishes 25th across the line now with a very damaged Lexus. Bird from the pit lane 26th. Demi finishes 4th in AM class, 27th. Van Linter 28th. English crosses the line in P29. And it looks like Kraft has run out of fuel, unfortunately. And that means that Cook is going to jump up a couple of positions in his Mustang all by himself and crosses the line. Car number 99, that's Hutchins in the McLaren. Crosses line now as well, and I think Kraft and Clark doing everything they can to cross the line. They've been caught out by such as the relentless pace of Dan Clegg and Co up front. They just need to save enough fuel to get them over the line, and look at this. Clark, what a sportsman, is pushing Kraft in the TRAX racing car across the line. An absolutely incredible display of sportsmanship. And across, they didn't make it! They didn't make it! They didn't take the checkered flag! Well, they did, that's fine, okay. Amazing display of sportsmanship to help the TRAX racing car across the line, and that is precisely what TRAX racing is all about. Sportsmanship and the opportunity to allow people to get into racing. That is essentially what they do. They are a non-for-profit organisation. Open the doors into motorsport for youngsters at grassroots level, whether that be into go-karting, introducing them to the right people, or even into the wonderful world of sim racing such as this, with the partnership with Race Club UK. Race Club UK, of course, an established sim racing league. If you are interested in potentially taking part, do inquire looking at simgrid.com. All of Race Club UK's events are advertised on there. All you need is a copy of the game, Assetto Corsa Competizione on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. And you too can take part amongst these incredible drivers. So do have a look there, that's simgrid.com, and do take a look at the great work done by TRAX Racing. We do of course have two TRAX racing cars in the field tonight, sporting their trademark white, black and orange livery. Let's have a look at them there. I can see them on screen. There's car number 85, that's Kraft in the TRAX racing car, that's one of them. And I'm sure, 99% sure, we do have another one. I know because I did see them before. There we go, Tom Hockley. There he is. Looks like I've lost my camera controls here, just bear with me 2 seconds. Again, sometimes forgets that I've got my keyboard plugged in. There we go. So, results from race 1. In the AM class, Dawes takes the win with Cedric second. Frankie Osei takes third place. Demi fourth. English fifth. Cook sixth. Archer seventh. And Clark takes P8, but quite frankly is a winner in my book after pushing the driver that ran out of fuel across the line. Adenauer, it looked like, got caught out with fuel as well, such was the pace at the front. As we begin qualifying 2, I'm going to quickly recap because we still have an outlap to go. Van Linter takes the win in silver, Herman second, Bellamancia takes third place, Jarnigan fourth, Hockley fifth, Metzger takes sixth place, Hutchins seventh, Evans 8th. Evans is actually showing in silver. This is a problem that I will leave the admin team to sort out, because Evans should be a pro driver. Watson is 9th, Rollins 10th, Lofstrand will be 10th, Rollins 9th, Adnall 11th. In the pro tier, we'll exclude Evans' time because, like we said, we don't know exactly where he finished, but overall, Dan Clegg took the win from Sweden in the end. Lovejoy 3rd, rounding off the podium. Simon 4th, Hermsen 5th, Flores 6th, Rampensberger 7th, Clements 8th, then Hall and Hacker round out the top 10. Barros takes P11, Ben Gordon 12th, and Paul Alex P13. Bird finished 14th in class, Kraft 15th. So, qualifying 2 is underway, as there are some cars out there on track already. And as it's one lap magic, I think the best thing to do here is probably just to follow a couple of the drivers and make sure we find out how they have got on. So I'm going to take one from each class. We're going to look at, we'll see if Clark comes out at all there. We'll watch Lovejoy's lap as he comes round the final corner to start his lap. We'll jump on board with him. And the way into Cox corner. The Aston Martin, you think would understeer wide, but careful, throttle control from Lovejoy stops that from happening. Maggots, Beckett's, Chappell. It's a controlled lap from the Red Eye Racing Wales driver. He now comes onto the Hangar Straight. He's got a car just in front of him. That's the 111 car of Hall. Shouldn't cause too much of a problem. He comes out of Stoll into the tight left-hander at Vale. Does not touch the sausage curb and needs to be careful on the exit off club as he scoots down and clips the apex nicely now onto the Hamilton Straight, and now he's got the fast right hander at Abbey. A slight confidence left just to get the big old engine turned in. Now into Farm. And round the loop and right through onto the floor for the long run down the Wellington Straight. I've been calling it Brooklands, it's the Wellington Straight. Now into Brooklands corner. It really has been an absolutely exquisite lap as he now comes round Luffield to set his time. Where is Lovejoy going to, what time is Lovejoy going to do here? Hall set a 159.3 benchmark, and Lovejoy does he's a 10th off. A great lap from Hall. So who's actually out there on a hot lap? I don't think we have anyone. And Metzger's decided that's him for this lap. I don't think anyone's out there on an actual hot lap. They're all showing his blue numbers on the tracker. Or maybe they're doing a late lap, but they need to be careful. There's only 15 seconds of qualifying left to go. Car number 96 has done a lap, that's Herman. Yellow flags littering the first sector. Car number 27, that's Archer, who's been off here as well at the loop. So that's their qualifying done, and not as many people setting a lap time, unfortunately, for qualifying 2. And it's so hard to tell which of these drivers have not actually set a time because they're all shown as invalid laps, which is strange. As Flores has a squirmy rear end coming out of Luffield, the Mustang, punishing its tyres on the back. Flores at least sets a lap time. The driver tracker doing us absolutely no favours this evening. Car number 114 is about to come round. That's Yarnigan in the Lexus. It's a big old cumbersome machine, but it's so quick. In a straight line, Yarnigan comes across the line now, P25. Barros and Sween still out there. Barros about to come across the line now, the 444 car. The Pink Panther crosses the line. He's moved up the grid as well. Sween's going to be the last man to cross the line. Sween goes pole position by 60 milliseconds from Dan Clegg. So the front three, Carl Sween, Dan Clegg and Simon, all closely put together. Rampensberger done an incredible lap in 4th, Evans 5th, Barros 6th, Flores 7th, Hall 8th, Alex 9th, Lovejoy down in P10. Did not hook that lap up. It looked tidy, but not necessarily using every inch off the track. Kraft 11th, Clements 12th, Hacker 13th, Rollins again takes pole position in silver class. Hermsen is 15th, Dawes takes pole in AM class, Watson in P17. Hockley is 18th, Herman 19th, and Adenal rounds out 20th. Franciosi is 21st, Cedric 22nd, Bellamancia 23rd, Bird 24th, Van Linter 25th, Demi is 26th, Yarnigan 27th, English 28th, Godden 29th, Cook 30th, Lofstrand 31st, Archer, Hutchins and Metzger did not set a valid lap, now did Johnny Clark. So that is how they'll line up for race 2. Fastest middle sector done by Carl Sween, fastest first sector by Rampensberger, and fastest final sector, interestingly, by Paul Alex. The man with 2 first names. So I'm going to take a quick break just now and go and get myself a quick refreshment. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back with race 2, and then again, it's been so nice tonight, we're doing it thrice, not just twice, thrice. Race 1, 2 and 3. We'll have a third qualifying session and a third race to round it off the action tonight here at TRAX Tuesdays. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Seconds.
Hello everyone, we are back. Thank you very much for waiting. We are just about to get race 2 underway. We're here for round 2 of season 11 of Race Club UK's Championship. We are sponsored and here all due to TRAX Racing. This is TRAX Tuesdays. It is an absolute mouthful for this accent, so I do apologise for absolutely butchering that there. Race 2 has got a very interesting grid reversed from the first race. Carl Sween took pole position by 60 milliseconds. We're watching the Grello Porsche just now get us underway, get the formation lap moving. Dan Clegg sits behind him in P2 with Simon third. Rampensberger with an incredible time launching himself up into P4. So we've had race 1 now done. A couple of the drivers were caught out with not having enough fuel on board. Such was the pace from the front runners. Another thing to note this evening, if you are just joining us, A. Evans is showing as a silver class driver when he is in actual fact a pro class driver. We'll need to remember that, as the driver tracker seems to have a bit of a graphical glitch there when it's been set up. Incredible views as we watch here, the drivers coming down the Hangar Straight. And this is one of the most likely overtaking opportunities on the track. This is on the way down the Hangar Straight into Stowe Corner. You see there McLaren getting very eager on the brakes as Paul Alex resumes his P9 position. A little bit further ahead, this is the braking zone down into Vale, this 90-degree left-hander. It's blind, it's tricky, it's a sausage curve on the apex. It's one of the main places an incident can occur. This is Club Corner, the famous for Crofty screaming through goes Hamilton. Very tricky for the drivers to put the power down on the exit, and of course, as we see here from Ben Godden's car, very Chris Cook dancing over the track there. Sausage curve on the inside, making this corner very, very treacherous. Now on the way into Abbey, we'll look from the front of Cedric's Honda. You want to get the front of that car right over that curb to minimise how much lock you need to put into the steering wheel and keep the speed up through this section. Next corner is Farm, tough 90-degree right-hander. Big sausage curb on the inside there as well to prevent you cutting the corner. And Bellamancia and Bird showing us how to take the loop. We now jump onto the Wellington Straight, and we're now waiting for Carl Sween to back the drivers up. There he is, our pole sitter for race 2. Carl Sween in the Grello Porsche, Dan Clegg in the black and green BMW, Simon in the forest green Porsche, Rampensberger is there in the burnt orange and green McLaren with Evans and Barros on row 3. As we await the green flag now to get race 2 underway, the drivers take their positions. As they come round the final corner now. As we await the green flag, the marshal will wave it very shortly. And we are green, green, green. We are underway, and we're green up front as well as Sween gets position and Simon tucks down the inside of Dan Clegg. Simon's made that move still, but Clegg's still pushing. It's not gone just yet. Clegg's battled back and retaken second place. Everyone seems to have got through relatively well so far. Not seen any incidents on track. That's good to see, but back up front it is Sween leads Clegg, leads Simon, Rampensberger follows them as well. And Clegg just holds on to the position at the front, but look at the battle all through the field. Again, so clean, very good driving. Again, look, Sunday off the track, commentator's curse. That looked like car number 29, it is. And what's going on just up in front again, one of the tricky corners is the Mustang, throws it down the inside. That's a big incident there. Car number 10, Van Linter, bore the brunt of that. But they've all been able to keep going as well, so that's good to see. Simon's now under pressure, or is he applying pressure? It's so hard to tell, these guys are in so close contact with each other. Simon's going to be compromised on his exit out of that corner. He's going to have that McLaren bearing down on his rear end. See the McLaren just edging closer and closer to the back of the Porsche, but not able to make the move stick. And now this is a situation reversed. Can Dan Clegg make his way past the Grello Porsche? It looked like it went very wide there, didn't it? Is he okay? You have to wonder, or did Clegg have a bit of a tank slapper because he's still got Simon behind him? This is the view of the back of Clegg's car, and you can see Simon closing ever so slightly, and the difference in line. The Porsche ran wide, caught up in the dirty air off the BMW, but he's still got it under control, but he's definitely not taken an ideal line through there. And that's going to maybe open the door for Rampensberger as you look back through the field, and again everyone seems to be laughing. Very fairly great driving by the entire field. Close battle developing there just behind this lot. Look at this, 4 cars battling for the same position. Paul Alex chasing down Clements, and they're so close. That's 3 drivers side by side. The Lexus pulls out to the inside. Can he make the move stick? He just put it down the inside. It's so hard to tell. And there's contact. The TRAX racing car is now being edged wide off the track further back. And look at these two side by side. Surely not through this corner. Paul Alex takes the inside, and as suspected, the runoff area is used by Clements. And Clements now under pressure from the McLaren behind. Is that Hacker now down the inside? There's contact, he's spun around. Hacker spun around, he was hit by the Lexus off Hermesen. He's now going to have to wait a long time to get that car rejoined almost to the back of the field. So unlucky, and again something we'll be seeing in the stewards later on. Up front, Carl Sween's just beginning to put himself a little bit of a gap. You can see there to Clegg. Is he pushing the car a little bit too hard just now? Only time will tell. Simon as well applying the pressure. We seem to have a lot of action going on in the middle of the pack. Watson defending from Herman into Cox. And car number 99 is showing in the pit lane with a yellow flag. That implies that they are retired from the race. Dan Clegg was briefly shown on the driver tracker as in the lead just now, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But Sween, that gap between Sween and Clegg has closed right down, so maybe Sween's potentially had an accident and been off somewhere. All 3 of these drivers absolutely rapid. I think the pace they'll be pushing each other with. gain might catch out some people with their fuel calculations. Herman's been off track, that's down at Vale. And he's now lost a couple of positions. He's rejoining along with the BMW, nearly into the path of the BMW. He's tucked in behind a Lexus, so he's now down at P18, and they're side by side, a little bit of door banging action. And now we're getting to see a car so close to the back. That's the TRAX racing car, Hockley. Hockley nudges the back of the Porsche, but lets the Porsche continue on in position. Good sportsmanship. Flores in the Mustang now, just beginning to lose to the back of Rampensburg. I see Flores has got in front of Barros. We've just missed that one off camera. But Flores has moved up a position. Again, it looks like a glitch with the driver tracker on the right hand side, not being able to show who is actually in the lead just now. So Hermsen in the Lexus. We've seen the Lexus in the wars this evening. He's got a Ferrari tucked in behind him. That's a pink Ferrari. Hermsen's been off track, obviously. Car number 88. And that's not Watson behind. Who is that? Maybe a car rejoined from the pits. Maybe it is. We'll need to come back and work out who that is. Yeah, we'll come back and work out who that is in a second. Watson is leading the silver class, and Dawes leading the AM class as well. As we have passed 7 minutes of action in this race, as the yellow Ferrari of Rollins thinks about a move down the inside. Be a tricky one to follow tonight. There'll be a lot of drivers battling very closely. The field is definitely very closely packed together, and that bodes well for the rest of the season and the action that we'll be getting to enjoy. Close one are beginning to develop here. We've got Lovejoy on the back of Evans. Evans goes defensive. Lovejoy makes a second move, tries to squeeze it down the inside and makes the move stick. That was an aggressive move by the Aston driver, but he's made it stick, and now Hall needs to be careful because he's got Paul Alex on his rear end now as well. So that's Evans needs to be careful. He's got Hall on his rear end. My apologies, I'm all over the place this evening. Up front, Carl Sween leads Dan Clegg, who leads Simon. Rampensburger still in fourth. Flores gets in front of Barros earlier on, up into fifth. Lovejoy's just made the move on Evans, but Hall closely following this little pack. As all of them seem to be dancing with the dust there as they kick it up on the way onto the hangar straight. And Hall just showing his nose down the inside as they come into this left-hander, this tight left-hander at Vale. Almost like somebody's going to throw it down there almost every single lap, yet they don't. Up front we see there Sween is still holding off Clegg by about half a second in the similar gap back to P3. These guys are absolutely flying round this track. Rampensburger is now just beginning to fall off the back of them. Car number 7, that is Watson for Clara Racing, is off track. M. White in the chat, greetings from ARL. We love our RC UK brothers and sisters. Looks like a great race. It is indeed. Thank you very much for engaging with us on the YouTube chat function. Do let us know which drivers you're looking to cheer on this evening, and we'll check in with them as the race progresses. Thank you very much for joining us from the guys at ARL, America's Racing League.
We are halfway through.
We do have an American in the field, and he is leading the race. That is Carl Sween. in the Grello Porsche, still half a second ahead as we enter the second half of the race. Simon has got the fastest lap of the race in P3. Can he capitalise on that pace advantage? Barros is now under pressure as we look backwards from the back of the Pink Panther McLaren. And he's got Lovejoy bearing down on him. We've seen the pace of Lovejoy in race 1. We know just how fast they are. They were quick in round 1 as well. White's hoping for Paul Alex to have a good run. Paul Alex is currently in P10, running very well actually. Let's jump on board with him as he comes round the Top Club. Keep forgetting the name of all the corners. Tips the car into the corner. That looked a bit hairy. Maybe it's just a little bit of an internet issue, but up front there's been an incident. Clegg and Sween have come together, and that's Flores takes a lead. Fluke, no, where's the car number? Who's ahead? Who's ended up ahead? That's Rampensberger. Rampensberger takes the lead. Flores second. Simon is in fourth as Sween's just recovered, and Dan Clegg's now in fifth. Absolute mad scenes here at Silverstone in race 2. Clegg we don't know what happened, we missed what had happened. Yellow flags out at the same corner for car number 10. That is Van Linters facing the wrong way and being involved with Hacker. Both Van Linter and Hacker being off track as well. But change of lead. Up front then, Rampensberger leads Flores, leads Sween, leads Clegg, and Simon maybe with a little bit of damage. Maybe it was Simon made a move into Clegg. I'm sure we'll find out. We'll get an update for you absolutely before the end of this stream. A little bit further behind there, that's not Alex, sorry, that is Paul Alex making a move on Evans. Alex down the inside of Evans. Can he make the move stick? It's so hard to keep it tight to the apex down there, but he does. It's not over yet though, because he can come back at this following corner. The big braking zone, but that is the move. It looks relatively completed. It's not over yet though, because Hall is now hot on the back of Evans and looks to emulate his teammate. And this is where he'll be looking to do it. Big braking zone, Ferrari good on the brakes, McLaren not so good. Look at the closing speeds, almost touches the back of the McLaren. Hardly any space between the two, you could almost get a piece of paper in that gap. But that is the end of that battle for now. They've kept those positions. Barros has not came out of that incident there at the front very well. He's now down in P11, sandwiched between Chris Clements and Jay Kraft in the TRAX racing car. Really like the look of that livery on who are we watching? Clements in the Jorgen Rust car. The blue and lime green really goes nice, and that is my winner of livery of the week. Thank you very much, M White in the chat. I do appreciate all these comments, of course. Thank you very much. I do my best to try and keep up with everything. There's so much happening in these sprint races, it's so hard to follow. Thank you very much for your kind comments. We will keep an eye on Paul Alex as well, as he's moving now into P6, closing on the back of Simon, who is the fastest lap of the race, but I think is suffering from a little bit of damage. So again, up front we have Rampensberger is leading with 5 minutes to go. Flores in the Mustang, the Ford Mustang up in P2. Carl Sween in third, chased down by Dan Clegg and Simon. The front three have moved down to third, fourth and fifth. We can just see that Mustang understeer wide on the way into braking. And Sween, you can actually see Sween slowly now beginning to catch the back of the Mustang. A little bit further back then, they're on board with Chris Dawes and the battle he's having with Rollins. As Rollins moves out to the inside, thinks about a move, Ferrari versus Ferrari, and the yellow Ferrari's lost the rear under braking, and that's potentially an incident. Need to be cautious on the rejoin. Luckily there's no one behind, had a little bit of a gap to the Pearl Honda car off Michael Adenau. Luckily for them, has kept position. Interesting battle now arising because Dres Flores in the Mustang has been holding up Carl Sween, and that's allowed Clegg to get back in on the action. And they're side by side as they come into the corner at the end off the straight, the hangar straight, and Clegg's got the move done. Clegg with the straight line speed of that BMW and back end stepping out, and almost Sween runs into the back of him. He needs to be careful because now Simon is thinking about a move down the inside. Simon has just kept position behind his teammate. He knows you cannot take your teammate out. That is the cardinal sin, of course, in racing. On board now with Sween. Really does like an apex, doesn't he? Thinks about a move down the inside, brakes in a straight line. That's maybe defensive for the car behind, actually. Looks like he's now beginning to struggle a little bit, such as the pace this evening. Only 2 minutes and 20 seconds left of this action. Simon feels the need to go defensive against Paul Alex. Paul Alex now beginning to make moves through the field. As the helicopter now picks up this battle. We have of course got battles going all through the field. Chris Dawes still leading the AM class, with Roland after his little oversteer moment still leading silver from Michael Adenau. Good performance from Adenau actually. Looks like Sween's definitely carrying a bit of damage, as so is Simon as he understeers wide in Cops Corner. That's opened the door wide open now for Alex, and they're side by side into Maggots, and somehow Simon keeps control of his car over the sausage curbs, but that's allowed Alex through. It's not over yet though, because his exit's going to be compromised, but Sween can't hold the back of the car together, and now he's under pressure from Evans as Evans pulls out alongside him now down the hangar straight. The Porsche looks to have the straight line speed advantage. Can it get the car turned in? The McLaren can brake later on the outside. He's going to have to be careful he doesn't run out of room. There's the McLaren now down the inside into the tricky corner. Of course the track squeezes you left. Almost contact between the two of them. But Simon, in the space of one sector, has lost 2 positions and maybe 3 as he runs wide now as well. He's maybe going to lose another position to Hall. Both piston breakers cars and Evans going through potentially. So a little bit further back, Kraft is still on the rear end of Barros. Gordon is pressuring Michael Adenau for P16. Lofstrand, I think, has just got himself ahead of that Honda there. Sorry, your Cedric. Jarnigan in the Lexus running very well, as is the other Lexus of Helmsen. And Hockley's right on the back of Bellamancia in the Nissan. Hockley aggressively dives to the right. And again we're going for another lap, such as the pace. Hockley's on the inside. Bellamancia turns into the corner, not expecting the Lamborghini to be there, and was. That's unfortunate for Bellamancia, and again that one might end up in the steward's room before we are done this evening. So the TRAX racing cars now on the rear as we enter the final lap. Off Chris Clements' Jorgen Rust BMW as they come through Maggots and Beckett's. Up front then, Rampensberger is still in the lead, 2.1 ahead. Dres Flores is just holding behind Dan Clegg, who takes a tactical track cut, that one there. Likely to receive a warning, but maybe he's got a couple in hand as Flores mounts the sausage curb. Dabs on the brakes on the apex. That's going to make Clegg have to get out of the throttle. Flores gets a little bit defensive on the way into Village and the loop. And I'm getting the corner names all wrong, and that is absolutely fine, given the chaotic action here that's happening at Race Club UK. Flores goes a little bit deep. Can he keep the position? The BMW is so fast in a straight line. And of course, remember, Sween is there to capitalise on any mistakes by the front two, but the straight line speed of the Mustang down that back straight obviously must be getting a favourable balance of power. But it's going to be Rampensberger who takes the checkered flag up ahead, and barring any mistakes coming out of the final corner. He's not had any. Rampensberger crosses the line, takes P1. Flores just holds off from Clegg to take second. Sween is going to come home in P4. Paul Alex with an incredible P5. Evans 6th. Simon 7th. Hall 8th. Lovejoy finishes 9th. Clements just holds off for 10th with Kraft in P11. Barros 12th. Hermazin comes round and going to take P13 in the Lexus ahead of Dawes, who takes the AM Class win. Congratulations to Dawes. Roland takes the Silver Class win as well. Adenal holds on and takes a well-deserved second in silver. Ben Gordon comes home 17th on track. Lofstrand 18th but third in class. Cedric 19th. Herman 20th. Demi 21st. Bird 22nd. And we've had another